The glass in your hand is sweating, a slow, icy condensation tracing lines onto your palm that mirror the jagged, fractured thoughts looping through your mind. Around you, the air is thick with the percussion of laughter, the clinking of bottles, and the effortless cadence of people who seem to exist in a different frequency of reality. You are standing exactly where you are supposed to be, at the center of the gathering, draped in the expected social attire, yet you are not really there. You are a ghost inhabiting a shell, a phantom limb attached to a body that belongs to the noise. Have you ever felt the crushing weight of being surrounded by your best friends, only to realize that if you vanished into the floorboards right this second, it would take them an hour to notice the silence you left behind? This is the exquisite torture of the peripheries, the silent, suffocating geography of being the one who is physically present but psychically absent. You look at them, really look at them, and you see the ease with which they navigate this space, and a cold, familiar resentment settles in your stomach, not because you hate them, but because you envy their ability to simply exist without auditing every single breath they take. The music shifts, a bass-heavy track that vibrates through your chest, but it does nothing to drown out the internal monologue. It is a relentless machine. You watch a friend throw their head back, eyes crinkled in genuine joy, and you force your own facial muscles to replicate the geometry of a smile. You practice the mask. The mask is your most loyal companion. It knows your features better than the mirror ever could. You nod at a joke you barely heard, you chime in with a comment that feels like a script written by a stranger, and you monitor the feedback loop of their reactions to ensure your performance is adequate. Did I sound natural? Was that too loud? Did they notice the hesitation? The overthinking is not just a habit, it is a defensive fortification built against the terrifying possibility of being seen. If you let them see the static in your head, the hollow space where a personality is supposed to be, they might look away. And if they look away, the charade collapses. You are terrified of being discovered as an imposter in your own social circle, so you play the role of the observant, reliable, slightly quiet friend, while underneath, you are drowning in a sea of your own detached observation. You find yourself dissecting the structure of the conversation. You watch a group debate a trivial topic, and you are struck by the sheer performance of it all. You analyze the power dynamics, the subtext of the eye contact, the subtle ways they seek validation from one another. You are a scientist studying a species you were meant to belong to, but the glass wall remains intact. You try to speak, to inject a piece of your real self into the void, but the words feel heavy, archaic, untranslatable. By the time you find the right moment to interject, the conversation has already pivoted, rushing forward like a train that refuses to slow down for a passenger standing on the platform. So you stay silent. The silence becomes a warm, heavy blanket. It is easier to be the listener than the speaker, because the listener has no expectations to meet. The listener is just a shadow, a background character in someone else's vibrant, high-definition drama. You sip your drink, the taste muted, and wait for the time to be appropriate to leave. The anticipation of leaving is the only thing that makes the staying tolerable. You are already halfway out the door in your mind, visualizing the sanctuary of your dark apartment, the silence that doesn't need to be earned. There is a particular kind of exhaustion that comes from this performative presence. It is a physical ache in your jaw, a dull, thumping migraine behind your eyes. It is the exhaustion of holding your breath for 3 hours straight, waiting for the safety of solitude. Every joke you fake a laugh at feels like a betrayal of your own honesty. Every time you nod in agreement with an opinion you don't share, you chip away a little more of your own bedrock. You feel a strange, detached empathy for yourself, watching this avatar navigate the room. You see how hard it tries. You see how much it wants to feel that sense of belonging that seems to come so naturally to everyone else, and you pity it. But you cannot intervene. You are trapped in the cockpit, watching the hands and feet move, powerless to stop the autopilot from steering you deeper into the alienation. You wonder if they can sense it, that faint, ozone smell of emotional distance radiating off your skin. Sometimes you think someone looks at you with a flicker of recognition, but then they turn away, and you are left with the cold, sharp certainty that your isolation is the only thing that is truly yours. It is a secret currency that you hoard, a private tragedy that you carry like a lead weight, terrified that if you let it go, you will have nothing left to define your boundaries. The night wears on, the laughter grows sharper, more dissonant, and the lights seem to grow brighter, exposing the cracks in the social veneer. You are still there, anchored to the edge of a conversation you have long since stopped following. You feel like a diver at the bottom of the ocean, where the pressure is immense, but the world above is light and airy and impossible to reach. You realize now that the problem isn't that you don't belong, it's that you have become a master of observing your own exile. You are not a participant, you are a witness to your own disappearance. You stop trying to force the connection. You let your shoulders drop, just a fraction. You stop monitoring the performance. You are still there, in the crowd, among the friends, but you have finally stopped looking for a way in. You accept the seat at the edge, the role of the quiet observer, the one who watches the flickers of light and understands that they can never truly illuminate the dark room you carry within yourself. The truth is not that you are lonely because you are alone. You are lonely because you are finally, terrifyingly, aware that you are the only one who can ever truly know the shape of your own internal landscape. And that, you realize as you finally start toward the door, is the final, quiet curtain call. Always at the center, yet nowhere to be found. Physically present, eternally drifting away.